sort of re-energizes you? You've had this brilliant career from high school on in New York to Villanova and a professional three-time Olympian. And here you are with another personal best at the half marathon. And it's been a while since you've run a half marathon, and talking to Terrence, your husband and coach, and your PR was back in 2003 from Philadelphia.
Yeah, I haven't run that many longer races since I took a little break from the marathon. So I actually ran one in December in Vegas just to get my feet wet and get used to the distance again. But yeah, I mean, you always have to be happy when you run a PR because, like last year was a tough year for me, and you never know when you're going to have ups and downs. So I'm just going to enjoy today.
How did the course run? This was the big preview on the Olympic trials course. First of all, is it in your plans to run the marathon trials next January?
No, I want to run one more Olympics on the track. So most likely I'll be sticking with the track for the 2012 trials. But I think it's going to be a good course for next year. I didn't feel like the 180-degree turns broke the momentum that much, and I think in general the course was a little rolling the whole way, and I feel like that's a little easier on your legs when you're running a 26-mile race than just having it dead flat. So I think it's going to be a good course. When do you know you're going to win the race? I mean, and when it turned into a two-women race with you and Serena, you were sort of right on her shoulder and sort of, pressing her, sort of riding her in. But when did you sense that your strength or Serena's weakness? Well, I never take anything for granted, especially in the longer races. But actually around the 6-mile mark, I kind of had a bad patch. But then after that, when I got to 7 on, I was feeling pretty good and feeling a little antsy to pick it up, but I wanted to wait till where I was comfortable and then push strong to the finish from there. Beautiful. Serena, talk about your race. Chris had great success last year, 1:10:08. How would you compare the old course, the fast old course, with the new trials loop course? But first of all, congratulations on your second place finish here at the Aramco Half.
Thanks. I mean, every day you race. I mean, that's why we don't just look at results and say, oh, here's the results for this year. I mean, you go out there and you race, and I feel like this field was absolutely incredible. Like, we had a huge pack, and I was like, just seeing shadows, and it was like, all right, how many shadows are here now, But like, it kept it really honest the whole race. Like, I mean, you just couldn't let your guard down for 1 minute or have like a mental lapse. Like, you just had to be in the race the whole time, and like, we all, I think, put it on the line and gave what we had, and like, I thought this was a great course. Like, you can't really compare year to year, but I felt like it was a great way to preview and know like where I have to go from here. And
based on your preparation coming in, how pleased were you with the way you performed?
I just have to say thank you, Houston, for the weather today. I was not on a treadmill because of snow. I've been training a lot indoors, so it was just great to be outside with a wonderful, wonderful field of women and just, enjoying the sunshine and the people along the way cheering.
That's great. And Nan, congratulations. Of all the names on the stage, yours was the least well known, but of course you had your great career, 2-time All-American at BYU, and then all of us who follow the sport know anyone who gets coached by Patrick Shane in a BYU program, for good reason, you're talented. And you had a second place finish, I believe, at the New Haven 20K third place. So you were up there, you were strong. You took some time off after your college career to have a family, and now you're back, broke out in sort of 2009. How do you rate this performance as you return to full form as a post-collegiate athlete?
Well, I'm really happy with the confidence that I've gained and being able to feel good running up there with the front pack, and I feel like I just wanted to lay it on the line today and hope for a big breakthrough, and I just think my training's coming right along, thanks to Darren and Colleen Durock. I've trained with them in Boulder, and I feel like I still have a lot of potential in the longer road distances, and I'm excited to go out and see what that is.
That's great. All right, well, listen, we have Rebecca and Matt with microphones out in the audience, so if you just raise your hands, we will get a microphone to you, and we'll get these questions underway. Kids? Anyone with questions? Amby? We could here comes Matt with the microphone.
Amby Burfoot, Runner's World. Serena, are you comfortable talking about your surgery last year and what you had to go through, and how in the world did you ever come back from that so quickly? Even New York was impressive, and now this race.
I mean, I might start crying because it is pretty moving to to come back. I mean, last year I almost didn't start this race because of pain in my leg, and I mean, it was about this time last year that I was diagnosed with a malignant tumor. We didn't know of what type at that time, so really, like, just looking at the calendar, it's been a pretty moving year, and I mean, that's when, you know, everyone writing, please write, like, how grateful I am to the running community, because they were such a stronghold for me as I went through just figuring out the diagnosis and, you know, undergoing surgery, and, you know, the unknown can be really scary, and I just had so many people telling me, you know, be fearless, and, like, you know, I just really have not taken a day for granted since that moment. And, you know, the most important thing to me last year about this time was that I could keep up with my 2-year-old son. So fortunately, I can, and he's very fast, so maybe he helped kind of spur me along to a quick recovery. But, you know, it's really just, it's a mystery to me of how I can still run, and to the physical therapists and to my surgeons and coaches. And, you know, sometimes things can't be explained. It's beyond what we know, and you just have to thank God that, you know, that you were given another chance. And I really feel like I was given another chance. And, you know, I had the opportunity, like, okay, do I go? Do I try to go back to running? And, you know, once I knew that, you know, okay, I can run an 8-minute mile, at least one of them, you know, is that good enough, or do I want to see what I can do? And I figured that God had given me, you know, the ability to run beyond what people would expect, you know, post-surgery. And, you know, he saved my life and my leg. At, you know, once upon a time, they would have just amputated. So I figured, you know, I was given the second chance for a reason. So, you know, why not go for it? So, but really, it was just the support and encouragement of so many people, and, you know, especially in the running community, people I didn't even know, and, you know, people that told people, and I don't even know. And so, to all those who said a prayer or had a positive thought, or, you know, has known someone going through something, just, you know, stay positive and build as big of a support network as you can. And I thank you guys all. I know it's a lot of people in this room who prayed for me, so thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you, when you run today, do you feel something back there that's strange, or are you 100%?
You know, sometimes there's a little bit of compensation soreness, but all things considered, like, it's truly a blessing. Like, it's just an unexplainable blessing. Like, I just run. I had so much pain with it beforehand. I kind of realized what it was like to run pain-free. I mean, when I started back, just for, you know, a few minutes, like, my coach would aside would be like, do you feel pain? Are you sore? And I'm like, no. Like, it's just an incredible feeling not to have the tumor in there. So.
Serena, have you changed the way you race at all? Now that you're talking about be fearless, that was the message a lot of people gave you with your illness. But now that you've been given that second chance, do you race more aggressively? Do you give yourself more freedom to, you know, to be fearless in your racing? Any different, or are you still the same racer you always were?
I mean, I think that was kind of how I raced before all this, and so it's given me new perspective. And, you know, like, last year, this very well could have been my last race of my life, and so I kind of, you know, in the back of my mind, try and keep that in my head.
That's great.
Serena, which hamstring?
It's my right hamstring. So.
And you raced here last year. You were in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
But you had no idea what was going on.
Right. I mean, as runners, we think it's running related, and so it was a pretty big surprise. But I mean, it's really amazing that, you know, it was diagnosed correctly, and I was sent for an MRI. So I just have so many people to thank for that.
And exactly when was the surgery?
The surgery was February 26th.
Questions?
Could I ask?
Oh, please.
Your two peers up there, are you amazed by what she's done? Can you guys both address what's happening?
Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, it's obviously she has a blessing. I mean, like she mentioned, it's obviously the prayers and positive thoughts from others that I think that help a lot, and just her own faith in herself that's brought her back, and I think it's admirable.
Yeah, I'm really impressed, and I was at the finish line, the New York City Marathon, and so excited to see you finish this year, coming back so fast after having that surgery. And I was even thinking that out there today. I was like, you know, you're almost back like to where you were last year running wise, even though that's, you know, like you said, not the most important thing in the world, but you're just, you know, happy that you're able to do it. But I mean, you've come back so fast, and it's really impressive.
Go ahead, John. John Elliott.
Sure, Nan. So you haven't done that many marathons, and I don't think this is your first qualifying for the trials. And you're going to be running another marathon soon. Is that what I've heard?
Will Nan run another marathon soon?
Yeah, I'm not. That's not for sure yet, but I'd like to run Boston in April, and get another marathon under my belt. Hopefully, another PR, and. Yeah, I'm qualified for the trials, so I'm getting really excited for that. It was nice to preview the course today and get a good idea of what that's going to feel like a year from now.
So what will help you make that decision about Boston?
I guess just...
Patrick Lynch, probably.
Yeah, Patrick Lynch, that's right. My agent talking to Patrick Lynch.
Pat's the guy, yeah. That's who recruits the field for John Hancock at the Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Amby, one more? Sure. Here's a microphone right behind you.
Nan, could you tell us the brief story of how I think you got out of running or competing after college and had 3 kids apparently, which seems almost a miracle like Serena's, and how you got back into it and got so fast again so quickly?
Yeah, thank you. I finished BYU as a 2-time All-American in cross country and track, and I had been married for about a year and just had the urge to start my family young. I wanted to have my kids young and have them close together, and felt excited about that, so we started having kids. We had kids every 20 months, pretty much. My kids are ages 2, 4, and 6 now, and I didn't really foresee myself getting back into competitive running after college. I just, I was kind of burned out and just kind of wanted to take a break from it, but once my baby turned about 1. I mean, I kept running through in between pregnancies. I didn't really run when I was pregnant because I got so sick and I just couldn't really run. But between pregnancies, I would get into pretty good shape again. And then after my baby turned 1, I finally decided, you know, I really have that drive to get back into competitive running. I really want to do this. It's something I love. It's something I have a gift for doing, and I want to just see what else I can do on the roads and in the marathon. I loved the marathon. I did my first marathon just recreationally when in between number 2 and number 3 of my kids, and you know, ran that first marathon on like 40 miles a week training with no interval work, and ran sub 3 hours, and it was a blast. I loved it. So I was like, oh, I love the marathon. I just want to keep working at that and get faster. So it's kind of coming from being a recreational runner for a few years to getting back into the elite scene, and I'm really, really enjoying it. And Darren and Colleen are really helping me get back into that and get tuned up and get my competitive attitude dialed back in. And it's just really fun and really fulfilling now that my kids are getting a little bit older, and I have my husband who works from home so that he can help me with the kids a lot while I do my training. I feel like all the pieces of the puzzle are together, and I'm a lot more mentally mature now than I was in college. So that's a huge benefit now with my competitive running.
What are the kids' ages and names? And have you called home? Are they aware of what the mom's on the podium at the national championships?
I haven't called home yet. I should call home. The babysitter's watching them. I don't know if my husband has talked to her, but yeah, I have a friend from my church who's watching them, and my kids are Abe, who's 6, is Abraham, and then I have Brianne, who's 4, she's a cutie, and I have Allie, who's 2. She's a ball of energy. Gets into everything.
That's great. Questions?
Serena, you fully expect to be back next year.
Serena plans on coming back for the trials?
Yes, but you know, a lot can happen in a year, so so keep praying for me.
No, do you have any marathon plans in 2011?
What was
Do you have any marathon plans in 2011?
We'll probably do a marathon mid to late spring, but we haven't decided yet.
Okay,
so.
I got you. Yes, ma'am. Microphone from Matt or Rebecca. There you go.
This question's for Jen. You are such a versatile athlete. You've run at such a competitive, distance. Let's see if I can get this right. You run at such a high level at so many different distances. How do you choose which one to focus on any given season?
Well, I think I've kind of gone in cycles. If I think about it, you know, I ran 5K and 10K, then moved up to the marathon, and then back down. So the past few years, I've been really just focusing on the 5K, but this year is going to be a little different because I've been 100% healthy and able to feel good doing all the longer training and more mileage again. So I'm going to definitely run a 10K this year on the track, and possibly I'm even, you know, toying with the idea of stepping back up to the marathon. So we'll see.
Jen, everyone expected you, based on your stride and the way you ran, to be this, you know, take all that track speed that you've showcased earlier in career and then turn that into a great marathoner. And it didn't really eventuate. I mean, you're a 2:29 marathoner, but you're 5,000. You know, your best distance ends up being the 5,000 meters. Do you think, is it you psychologically suited to that? Do you really like that aggressive distance, or is it physiological? And we were just all wrong.
No, I think a lot of it's psychological. I'm probably most comfortable running on the track and running the 5K, 10K distance, probably 5K even more than 10K, but I think that's something that I can adapt and learn to. I think I can learn how to focus better in the longer races like I did. That was something I really wanted to accomplish here today, and I did that. So I think I have the physical ability to run the equivalents of my 5K and 10K times. I just haven't done it yet.
Gotcha. Anyone else?
Final thoughts on the track, and obviously this is what you're going to be running on next year, those of you that are going to do it. I mean, I know you seem to be okay, but should they thought of some other things, or the hairpin turns? I mean, everything okay? Or?
There were 3 hairpin turns on the half marathon loop. There will be 7 for the marathon.
Any constructive criticism, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Yes, Serena and Nan?
I'll be honest, I didn't love the hairpin turns, but at the same time, it's, you know, it's kind of nice to see how the race is developing, so you can kind of see that. So that's nice, but and then like Jen said, it kind of breaks up the mundane, straight, boring courses.
But why didn't you like it then?
Oh, just having to slow down around the curve.
Breaking your and get out of the
breaking
rhythm.
your stride a little bit, but with practice, I think I could get better at that too.
Serena, what do you think of projecting 3 laps on that course? Because this is like in some ways like the 2004 trials in St. Louis, which through your St. Louis area native, and Forest Park, it was a multiple loops of Forest Park, the same sort of thing, and it was actually the last hill where Colleen finally sort of ran out of juice, and Dina went by her. But it's like not great hills, but the accumulation finally does add up.
I think the marathon is the marathon, so it's a little bit hard to compare, but but it was nice to get on this course, and, you know, so we practiced the hairpin turns, not a big deal, you know, I mean, it is what it is, and this is the course, so I'm excited about it, so.
That's great. All right, listen, we want to thank Jen and Serena and Nan for their wonderful performances today and taking the time to join us here at the post-race press conference. Thank you, ladies. All the best in the rest of 2011.